Church, praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. It's only the living that can praise the Lord. The dead cannot. My name is Nwanne Kawando. I came from Taraba I made a promise to God, a vow to God that I must come here to say thank you to him. Sometime 2023, my friends were sending me the link. I was not interested. So, until I had an issue that ran me out of the town where I was, I did a job I'm a rice miller in Taraba. I have rice mills. I did a job for an Igbo woman that comes from Port Harcourt. And then I didn't know she took rice on credit from customers. And I'm Igbo, she's Igbo. Automatically, she has become my sister. So when the woman left to the right, she promised that she was going to, once she gets to Port Harcourt, she was going to supply to Adashi people. And that was it. When they called the woman did not respond. They came to me. I said, I only did work. I am not Shorty. They said, it's my sister. I said, I cannot deny that I'm not Igbo, but I'm from Anambra and she's from Imo. Yes. I am from Anambra and she's from Imo. That is it everybody I work that I will shorty. I'm not a shorty to anybody. I thought the thing was dragging. I started looking. I told them I was also contributing, looking for the woman. We started looking. We didn't see. So eventually they came with court order after me. That the woman happened to know a judge. They came with court order to arrest me. Brethren, I ran for my life. So when I ran, I went to submit myself to. I ran from Mutumbu to Jalingo. I went and met the chief registrar. I said, see. He said, okay, I should come down. I said, oh God, there's no coming down here. He gave me a letter to go back. I said, sir, you don't understand. I'm not going back to that town. I will not go. I will hold this letter. He said, I'm the overall. I said, I know. They want to disgrace me, but I'm not going. That I'm going to lie low until the woman is found. That was when I knew that my case was serious. I became very serious on the altar. I started praying I have no one to turn to. And as I ran, not even handbag. With only my phone, I went to buy drugs. That was how I took off. As I took off like that, no 1 naira, nothing. So I remember when I was running to Jalingo, I had nobody in Jalingo to run to. I remember there was a customer that had an issue that I helped. When I called him, he said, okay, come. I said, thank God. They came. I said, I couldn't pay for the transport. He said, okay, that they'll keep somebody to pay for me, and that was it. So eventually, to cut the long story short, I started praying because my life depended on that particular prayer at that point. Morning, night, I'm praying. Sometimes 7 days, no food. No. I say, God, all these testimonies I'm hearing, please answer me so that I will come back here and stand. And also thank you. Few months after, the woman was caught because when she left, she moved out from where she was staying and she relocated. How do you trace such a woman? So that was it. And then the few times I called her, she and her husband told me, Madam, you have money, go and pay that money. Where will I get 8-point-something million? That was how I ran. So I started praying. And eventually, they caught the woman. Brought her back to Taraba. While they were looking for her, I was hiding. Because they were tracking me, they were looking for me. So automatically, when they found her, I became a free person. So I decided not to go back there, to that town. And then, I wasn't working, and that was when there was no money in the economy. I had no money. I had 2,000 naira in my account. Because those people I ran to, they were giving me food. Though I wasn't eating more, they were giving me, So I now told God, I said, I don't want to be idle. I need to do something. A loud voice said, go and look for a place. I went and looked for a place. They showed me an open field. No, not even canopy there. Because what I was doing, each time I have money, I buy spare machines and keep. I said, okay, I'll send for my machines and look for a place and start in the Jalingo, the capital. I'm no longer going to that place. So 2,000 naira. I got a place, and they said they will lease it for 150. I had 2,000. I went back. I said, God, they said there is 150, and I have 2,000. He said, relax. I said, how can I relax when I have only 2,000? I said, okay. My prayer points, one night, they told me, don't pray. I was praying to God to show me where to borrow to come and build. A loud voice said, ask God to give you jobs in your mills so that nobody will come to ask you to pay back when you borrow. The day, that night, as I changed, I prayed all through. The following day, one of my boys called me that they brought a walk. I said, walk. I was thinking maybe 20,000. He said 1.2 million. I said, eh? I said, come, are you playing with me? He said, no. That the customer wants to transfer some money. I said, no, until I see the alert. I don't want to say anything. I don't want trouble. So after some time, I had an alert, 800,000. I went back to that place I paid for lease. I went because I told the man I was going to balance him. I said, no, give me 1 month to balance because I gave him 150. Let me use the rest to start foundation so that it will make me serious. The man accepted. From my 2,000 naira, let me cut the story short. From my 2,000 naira, within 6 weeks, I built a rice mill. I roofed it. I installed my machines. What God cannot, you people don't understand. I roofed it. Everything was set. Then I went back. It was December. I said, God, I have finished though. But I didn't do season like others. He said, relax. I said, okay, I have learned to hear the relax. I relaxed. 2 days later, one of my classmates from Gombe called me. I said, Nek, I said, yes, I'm sending somebody to you. Please, when the person comes, treat him well. They need to do a job. Sir, Pastor Jerry, thank you. Do you know that they sent the man to me? I did a trailer and a half. What God cannot do.
What our God cannot do.
I did a trailer and a half. They were amazed. They said a woman. I said, Oga, see me like a man, or not call me woman. This now walk come. I did that job. Do you know that job announced me? I didn't need anybody to announce me. You remember, I started my journey in the capital with 2,000 naira. Because you know what's made my faith strong? I listened to one woman's testimony here. The woman said she was owing no food, nothing. And all of a sudden, she did one estate thing, and she got some money. She had 40 million naira. Okay, if you can, from me, I still have a roof. The woman said she was staying somewhere. Okay, I said, God, if you can do this, my own is a walkover for you. Please help me so that at least I will come to this Abuja and stand to say thank you to you. One day I was sweeping my house. You know, when I'm writing testimonies, I write some, I know that they are impossible. Prayer points. And you know, at the back of my mind, the pastor will always say, what you're afraid of, it will not happen. I'm afraid of being ashamed. You know, anything that will make me, as I said, at my age, I will come back now and become somebody that will be begging from work. I said, God, don't let it happen. Shame will kill me. And you know, this God, this faithful God that never leaves me stranded, did more than enough. From one thing to the other, if I start counting, you people will not leave. Eventually, one of my sisters, God made her my destiny helper. She called me and said, you're a rice miller. I have seen your rice and your product is good. I want to open a company so that you start producing for that company. And that is one of the major jobs. Whether you know, it was like a service station we run. If you bring, we do for you. She now told me, produce in my name, and we did. And we made wave during December. As I'm speaking to you now, I came to Abuja for my visa to China.
Streams of joy, what our God cannot do.
I came here. My visa is ready. I'm going to Abuja. I'm going to China to buy all the bigger machines for us. So that where big people stop, I will buy over. I will take them over. And as these things are happening, I just opened a soap factory in the same Jalingo. That's what I said, that if I start counting what God has done, you people will not. When you see what God cannot do, some of them, what God cannot do, what God cannot do does not exist. It is obvious that this is just a finger of God, because of my own I can do nothing. In all these things I have said, I told God I will come back here and stand before the congregation to say a big thank you to this faithful God that never leaves me stranded. What God cannot do,